What's up, guys? It's Jessie Hilgenberg, and today I'm going to take you through a full body dumbbell only workout. What we're going to do to make sure that this workout is super intense today is we are going to utilize giant sets. What giant sets are is when you pair 4 or more exercises together with little to no rest in between each one, and then when you get to the last exercise, you go back up to the first exercise and start all over again. Why I love doing giant sets is because it helps you work on your muscular and your cardiovascular endurance. If you love saving time, you are going to love this workout. And in my Jessie's Girls training program, Home Edition, or what many of my Jessie's Girls call HE, almost the entire program utilizes giant sets. So let's get after it. All right, our first exercise in today's giant set are feet elevated goblet squats. So you want to find something to stand on that elevates your heels just about an inch or 2. My feet are about shoulder width apart with my toes just slightly pointed out. Okay, so once you're in that position, you're going to come down and grab your dumbbell. All right, you're gonna hold the dumbbell goblet style right here at your sternum. What I love about goblet squats, especially when your heels are elevated, is that it sets your quads on fire. This exercise is gonna work your entire leg, but having your heels elevated in this goblet squat style is really going to work your quads. Now, holding it up here and setting your lats is gonna work your upper back too. So that makes this an awesome full body exercise. From here, you're gonna bend the knees and keeping a neutral spine. You'll go down as deep as you can, keeping a neutral spine, and then press all the way back up, keeping your core nice and tight and squeezing your glutes at the top before starting again. Make sure your knees are tracking over your toes and make sure you guys keep that neutral spine the entire exercise. Let's go. Okay, next up is a military press. You guys can do these standing, seated, or kneeling. I'm choosing kneeling today because I want to show you that version the most. Kneeling is great, especially if you have low ceilings at home, but it also helps you take all of the momentum or swinging out of the motion. Okay, so you're going to grab your dumbbells, lift them up towards your shoulders, okay, and with your glutes tight and your core nice and tight, you're just going to press up all the way up toward the ceiling, all right? What I want you guys to remember during this is to stack, okay? You're gonna stack the dumbbell, your wrist, and your elbows. Having that in mind while you're doing the exercise helps you not be here or here, all right? So keep that in mind. Everything's stacked right there. And as you guys come all the way up to the top, don't lock your elbows out at the top, okay? Keep a nice micro bend in the elbows. That'll help you keep tension on the shoulders the entire exercise. And lastly, don't let your shoulders dip too far down, okay? Keep your upper arms somewhat parallel to the ground as you go through this exercise. All right, let's get after it. Okay, with little to no rest between all of these exercises, now we're gonna move on to our triceps. So you wanna grab somewhat of a lighter weight, probably much lighter than you did with your military press. I just did 15-pound dumbbells with my military press, and now I'm using 10s. Okay, so all we need is a flat surface, so we're gonna get down on the ground. Okay, bring the dumbbells right up over you, so my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, and the dumbbells are all stacked right now. Okay, and from here, you're gonna bend at the elbows and bring the dumbbells right to your ears, headed toward the floor, and come all the way back up, extending. What you wanna focus on here is that your upper arm stays nice and steady and your elbow stays in one spot. So it'll look just like this. I don't want you guys swinging around, anything like this, all right? Elbow, upper arm, stays in one spot the entire exercise. All right, let's do it. Okay, with no rest, we're moving right onto the glutes. We're gonna do frog pumps, okay? So you guys can stay right where you're at on that flat surface. You're gonna take a dumbbell and place it right in the crease of your hip. Lay back, nice and carefully. Bend your knees, put the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open, okay? So from here, you're gonna thrust up like a glute bridge with your knees open like this. Make sure you guys keep your hands on the dumbbell so that it doesn't roll forward on you. If you need to put a pad across your hips if the dumbbell's hurting, go ahead and do that. But you're gonna let your glutes just barely touch the floor and squeeze back up, okay? Just like this. All right, let's go. All right, moving on to standing up, right where you guys were at. I'm gonna talk to you guys about Romanian deadlifts, also known as RDLs. Okay, before I grab the weight and show you how to do this, I wanna make sure your body is set in a perfect position, setting you up to get the most out of your RDLs. So your stance should be about hip width apart with your feet pointing straight ahead, okay? And without dumbbells, I'm just gonna show you this because this is great practice for you guys to do at home. Okay, so press against your upper thighs with your palms. Engage your lats, so it looks something like this, right? Okay, so from here, engage your lats, get your core nice and tight. Without bending your elbows, just start hinging at the hips, okay? Keep your hips hinging as your hips slide back. All right, keeping your spine neutral. Don't let those elbows bend. And when your hamstrings are stretched to their max, that's when you squeeze your glutes and come right back up. Okay, so you guys are gonna imagine your hips sliding backwards and forwards with your elbows straight, pushing against your legs, keeping your lats engaged, hinging at the hips, getting that slide. When your hamstrings are stretched, squeeze the glutes and come back up. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to imagine is happening when you have the dumbbells in hand. Okay, so once you have the dumbbells, you're gonna hold them at a 45-degree angle like this. Okay, stance is the same. Get your lats engaged, keep a neutral spine, and hinge at the hips, sliding your hips backwards. Okay, notice how my knees stay in position and my shins stay vertical. Once your hamstrings are completely stretched, squeeze your glutes and come right back up the same way you went down. All right, let's go. All right, moving right into some back moves, okay? So what you're gonna want for this exercise is something to brace yourself on. So the back of a chair at your house will work just fine. These are gonna be single arm rows. So you're gonna need one dumbbell, okay? You're gonna square up to whatever you're bracing yourself on. Okay, my feet are a little wider than shoulder width. You're gonna bend at the hips, a slight bend in the knees. You're gonna bend forward just a little bit, so I'm at about a 45-degree angle with my torso. Let the dumbbell just fall naturally out, so my shoulder, my elbow, my wrist, and the dumbbell are all in line. Okay, from here, you're gonna retract your shoulder blade, rotate the dumbbell, and bring it up to your side. Then release. Okay, retract the shoulder blade, bring it up, and release. And that's the whole move. A couple things I want you guys to keep in mind is to not rotate from the spine, so don't bring the dumbbell up like this. I want you guys to keep your shoulders and your hips nice and square, and all you want to do is just really focus on squeezing your back. So you want to imagine your elbow coming as far to the center of your spine as you can. So when you have that weight, you're right here, retract, squeeze as hard as you can, trying to get that elbow to the middle of your spine without rotating, and release. All right, do all reps on one side and then switch. Let's go. Okay, next up, you guys, is a floor press. So you just need dumbbells and a floor. This is gonna work your chest and a little bit of your anterior or your front delts, all right? So you're gonna lay back carefully and bring the dumbbells up right over your body. Now from here, you're gonna bend your elbows, okay? And again, you wanna make sure that your wrist, the dumbbell, and your elbow are all stacked. So watch that, just like you did for the military press. Okay, so once you're up here, I want you guys to also remember, don't have this big, huge arch in your back. Keep your spine nice and neutral, okay? Keep your core engaged. And as you bring the dumbbells down, now doing a floor press reduces that range of motion, right? Because your elbows are stopping right here. If you guys were on a bench, your elbows would get to go down farther than the floor. So instead of doing a cheater rep and having a total rest right here, I want you guys to control that pause since you're not getting as much range of motion. So when you come down, just barely feel the ground with your upper arms and then push back up, making sure your core is nice and tight. You have that tilt in your pelvis to reduce that big arch in your back right there, okay? All right, let's go. All right, our last exercise in the giant set. So what that means is we went through all of these exercises with little to no rest between every single one of them. Now we're on the final exercise, which is gonna work our biceps. After this exercise, you can take the break that you need and then start all the way back up at the top. You guys are gonna try to go through this entire giant set 2 or 3 times. Okay, last exercise, eccentric bicep curls. I'm doing them kneeling, and what I like about kneeling is that it reduces you swinging the biceps and lifting that weight up using any sort of momentum. Okay, so my knees are about hip width apart, my palms are facing forward. You're going to curl the dumbbells up, and the eccentric part of this means you're gonna do the lowering phase very slow. Okay, once your arms are fully extended, squeeze, bring the dumbbells back up, and slowly descent out of the curl. Make sure you guys are keeping your upper arm in place, okay, so nothing like this. Make sure your upper arm is nice in place right on the side of your body as you curl the weight up, squeeze, and lower down. All right, let's go. All right, you guys, you kicked some ass during this workout. I hope you loved it. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you always get notified about all my rad Jessie's Girls workouts just like this. Remember guys, giant sets are awesome. It increases the intensity of your workouts, helps you work on that muscular and cardiovascular endurance, and saves a shit ton of time, which is what I'm all about. I'll see you guys next time.